in order to improve your game, you've got to always bring your best. Presented by the new Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. And taking a little look at a golf swing here from Quinn. And this is a really good golf swing with just a little bit of attention and understanding what's going on. Quinn, you're going to get a whole lot better. Now, setup position is really good. I want you to pay attention to one thing in particular. In fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to blow this up just a little bit so that you get an idea of this. This is the grip. Watch what Quinn is doing, and this is very common right before she starts to move the club. Pay attention to this area right here. Her grip right there, okay? I'm going to erase that. Now watch this. She starts into her motion, and now her hand, see that difference? See how her hands drop down? She repositions her hand right there. Now what happens from there is the following. She takes the club back, and to get some strength, she kind of rotates the forearm, but the wrist gets into a cupped position at the top. So what we have is we have a wrist position here that's rather cupped right there. Even though the club face is in a strong position, the wrist is in a weak position. And then from here, this is what Quinn does. She does a really good job getting the club back. Pay attention to what's happening with this lead shoulder right here, because this is really the culprit. It's dropping and not rotating out of the way. So right here, the arms are working. The body hasn't really worked at all. We haven't really had any rotation. And now trying to time it up, there's sort of a launch that's coming out of it. The club is in a position where it just doesn't have the depth that it needs to have in order for that club to really get underneath and hit a draw. She's on top of it. Arms are doing this. There's no body going that way, leading the downswing. The arms don't fall the way they should. And all of a sudden, we get a shot where even though she's trying to recover it, that ball is starting way out to the push side and then curving to the push side. Now, here's what has to happen. First things first. First, and this is applicable for all of you, not just Quinn, but all of you. When you get your hands on the club, you need to make sure that they don't change throughout the motion. So what I like to do with my players is hold the club up in front of you, make sure that you feel that pressure from the heel pad of the lead hand, and then make sure you feel the heel pad of the trail hand on the thumb of the lead hand. That's really where you're going to create your pressure points, in my opinion. Once you have that, now, whatever you do, those pressure points aren't leaving. They're not changing. As long as you keep those two pressure points the same, you're going to be fine. The heel pad on the grip and the heel pad on the thumb of the lead hand, then what we're going to get is we're going to get a fairly stable face as we come through this. Now, from here, what we want to try to do is get this ball to start at our target or slightly left of the target for Quinn. And a common thing for us is when we start to bring this club down, we start to move our arms and our body is kind of responding to the arms. So that swing would be, and then the body chases out. I want the body to lead the arms. I want you to feel like you're back here and all this is staying here and then you're just carrying it through. And that will get the golf club into the position that you want for you to be able to maximize your club head speed, but also be able to control the club face. So what I want to have happen is this. I want this lead shoulder, lead hip to feel like they are going to start down first. And they're not going to drive down to the ground like this. They're going to rotate open like this, okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to take the club back, feel those two things move, and then slap into that ball. Now, when I slapped into that one, I started that ball about 1.5 degrees to the left of target. Exactly what I want to do. If I want to create a draw, now instead of them going down this way, we're going to go forward and then rotate. So if I go forward from there, here, forward and then rotate, now the club will drop down and I'll start that out to the right by about 1 degree. So depending upon the shot shape that you're trying to hit, You have to understand how the lead shoulder and the lead hip are going to predict this path coming down. If I want that club to get out in front, I'm going to get both of those to be going back behind me, starting that way. If I want to draw a club underneath, now I'm going to let a little slide happen, and then I'm going to rotate. And that little set, that difference in what you're doing with the shoulders, changes the angle of the spine. So when my spine, if I want to get into a draw, I need to be in this sort of position. And when I want to get into a fade, I need to be in this sort of position. It won't look like that, but it'll feel like that. So, Quinn, what I'm suggesting for you is I want to get that club to get more in front and down with some body rotation so we can start this ball on the line that we want instead of starting it out to the right. And so right there, what you can see is that golf ball started on the line that I wanted. In fact, it started just about a degree to the left of target, down the line that I want. And in order for you to improve, that's what you've got to do. That's always bring your best. Presented by Titleist, the all-new Pro V1 and Pro V1X.